What's going on, drinking buddies? Before we get into this week's episode, just a quick word from our sponsors. As always, we are brought to you by Laughable, the #1 comedy podcast app on iOS. Not only can you subscribe to your favorite artists, your favorite shows, you can buy tickets to fucking comedy shows through the app now. It's fucking amazing. Go to www.laughable.com or go to Laughable in the iOS store. Android's coming real soon, guys. I promise you. I know I've been saying it for months, weeks, years. Well, not years, but quite a bit. I promise you, it's coming. They're working on it. Android is just slow to approve them. Also, this week's episode is brought to you by Ghost Tequila. Ghost Tequila is a 100% agave Blanco tequila infused with ghost peppers. It is a bad motherfucker. You take a shot, it kicks your night off right. Just boom. Flavor in your mouth, motherfuckers. So get Ghost Tequila at www.ghosttequila.com, or if you're in one of the lucky states that's carrying it, at your local liquor store. This week's episode is Nikki Knightly. Nikki is a rad adult performer, comedian. It was a lot of fun. We talked some music. Nikki actually some way, it might have been the alcohol talking, convinced me that I should go on a cruise. And everyone knows how much I'm against that shit. Sit back, enjoy the show, guys.
But hers is just like really horrible. It was one of those really cheap ones.
Like something you'd give a kid?
Yeah, and it just sounded really bad. So I was just like, you know what? Like it's almost not even worth it. Like, so I waited and I went shopping with a friend recently, and we got record players, and it's cool because I can plug it in to my speaker, which is like a really nice speaker. So I get like pretty good quality as far as sound goes. And yeah, I mean, I grew up on like classic rock, so obviously I had to get like a shit ton of just like,
as I can tell by the AC/DC shirt.
Oh yeah. I have some Queen, some David Bowie, Led Zeppelin, the Beatles. What else did I get? I got James Brown and Frank Sinatra and Marvin Gaye and Scorpions. I was listening to that before I came over here. And I got some like Snoop Dogg, which was cool, and some Lana Del Rey because I'm a girl and I like that shit. And
hey, I like Lana Del Rey too, so there's nothing wrong with that.
And I got a Coldplay one, but it was
okay. You got to go.
It's like the first Coldplay
album. You got to go.
I know.
Episode's over.
I was like, when I was buying it at the store, I'm like, please don't judge me for buying this. But it's like the only good Coldplay album. It's called Rush of Blood to the Head, and it's like before they became really like popular. And
cheers, by the way.
Cheers. Thank you. I'm really glad that you had sake.
I've been sitting on this bottle for a while. I was just like, I like sake, and
yeah,
it just okay, yeah, why not? We'll drink that tonight. So
for sure.
That's awesome. Like, been to any good shows lately?
I saw Nero not too long ago, and they were really good. And I saw... who was I... Oh, okay. So I'm obsessed with this DJ, and his name is Grizz. And he plays like future funk music, and he also plays like the saxophone live. So it's like super fucking awesome. I've been obsessed with him ever since I saw him for the first time and was like, who the fuck is this? And I've been kind of like following him around. And I saw him at Red Rocks in Colorado recently, and it was such a dope show. That venue is a really cool venue to see artists.
Is it like a big venue, like club or?
It's in Colorado, and it's like an outside, like it's made out of red rock, like Red Rocks, and it's basically like a natural amphitheater that they carved like seats into. So like
the
sound is super dope, and it's like it's all red, so it just looks really cool. Like if you go like tripping or anything, it's just like super pretty. And Colorado is super cool. So like me and my friend went there for like the weekend, and we watched. He had two nights, and the first night was like a full live band. So he does electronic music, but he basically turned like a bunch of his songs into like live band music. Like he had like a full live band play, which was super cool to see. And then the second day was like electronic. He did a lot of stuff with like his turntables and stuff, but it was just like he played a lot of new music too, and it was just like a really good show.
That's fucking awesome. Where in Colorado is that?
It's like right outside of Denver. So like, I guess it's called the area is called Red Rocks, I think.
Hold on, I'll just Google it.
Yeah, go ahead. I think it's like 45 minutes away from Denver, and the altitude kicked my ass. Like, especially since I was like partying the whole time. I didn't realize I was supposed to be drinking like a shit ton of water, and just like it was bad. It was really bad.
You end up like crashing out, or
I was told like day 2 I could barely like keep my shit together. I was so exhausted, and what's the word I'm looking for? It's just that the air is so thin that like
the fucking altitude and shit.
Yeah, it was like hard to breathe. So I felt like I wasn't getting enough oxygen already. And then the whole amphitheater is like stairs. The whole thing is stairs. So like you're just walking up and down stairs the whole fucking time. It was hard. It was really hard. I felt like a super tourist. I was like, damn, I can't handle this. Like,
you're like, oh,
fuck.
I need to catch my breath.
Fucked up. It was really fucking me up. But Denver is super cool. The airport is a little weird.
Oh, with the giant horse and shit. I've been there.
Oh my god, dude! And then have you seen the murals? I mean,
oh yeah,
they're so graphic. I remember seeing those when I was in like middle school and learning about them. But then when I was there, I was like, wait a minute, this looks so familiar. Like I know these murals. I was like looking at them, like, this looks really familiar. And I looked it up, and I was like, "That's right. I forgot all about this."
So, are you originally from Colorado, or
no? I'm actually originally from Pasadena, California.
Oh shit, local.
Yeah, super local.
You're one of the fucking few.
Yeah, I know. Especially living out in Hollywood, there's like no one in Hollywood that's actually from LA for the most part.
This is my favorite time of year because everyone fucking leaves.
Everyone leaves. I know. It's pretty nice. It's nice, especially living in this area. Like it just kind of like clears out.
Oh, all the traffic dies. All my friends back east were posting that picture from the 405 of like bumper to bumper traffic the night before Thanksgiving. And I'm like, no, you motherfuckers don't understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's horrible. But everyone's fucking leaving. Those of us who stay, it's fucking amazing for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You can get places. It doesn't take 2 hours.
Yeah.
It's fucking awesome.
The traffic out here is pretty bad. Like I still don't have a car. And so I don't really drive myself. But just even sitting in a car during traffic, I'm just like this. I feel like if I drove, I would probably be a pretty angry driver just because like people suck. People are so bad at driving. It's like shocking. Like just to see the amount of people that are on their phones for the majority of the time. I'm just like, dude, like this is, how are there not more accidents? I mean, the fact that I don't see like accidents on a like more consistent basis kind of like shocks me.
It's still pretty fucking bad. I'm on the road every goddamn day, and there's all sorts of stupid shit. People getting rear-ended.
Yeah, definitely. If only it killed more people, population control.
Dean Del Rey, who's a great comedian, has a bit about we just need one good earthquake to get some people to fucking leave.
For sure. No, I agree. I've lived through a number of earthquakes, and I would say that they're not nearly as scary as like some other natural disasters and like tornadoes and shit like that, where I'm just like, I've been in a tornado, and I'm like, how does anyone live in Oklahoma, like, or anywhere that has tornadoes in general? I'm just like, I can't understand that.
Back up. Tell the tornado story. What happened?
Okay, so I was living in Oklahoma at the time.
Okay.
Yeah, right. Okay. So
how'd you end up in Oklahoma?
Well, it actually.
One thing.
Okay, so it kind of leads into the story about the whole car thing. So I got in I got a DUI and a hit and run when I was like 15, and so I got into some trouble. And the judge was like, "Hey, well, if you go to like a treatment program for a while, like, we'll count that as your punishment, and you'll come back, and we'll just expunge it from your record." And I was like, "Okay, cool." So I lived in Oklahoma at this like place for bad kids,
Wait a
basically.
minute, they banished you to Oklahoma for a DUI?
Yes, I was there for 18 months.
Should have sent me to, I would have been like, send me to fucking jail.
I know. I didn't know I was going to be there for that long. They told me maximums like 6 to 9 months. And I was like, okay, that's not bad. Like, I also didn't realize like how strict it was. And I basically got like all my rights taken from me. I couldn't like listen to music or really call anybody ever without it being listened to. And like there was like a list of people I couldn't even talk to. So like basically all I could call was like my family. It was hard. But like I finally, anyways. So, okay. So like the weather was crazy. It would be like in the summertime, it was like humid and super hot and the bugs were like all on steroids. So like, I remember one time we were like sitting like, I don't know what we were doing, but we were like sitting down outside and I look across the yard and I straight up see like a tarantula crawling across the yard. And I'm like, yo, okay, hold up. Like what's going on here? And apparently it's just normal for tarantulas to just be walking around in Oklahoma. And, yeah, so the bugs out there are like crazy huge. It's pretty horrible. And so then this tornado happened like probably in the middle of the summertime when it was like super hot and like, you know, the weather was all fucking weird. And the sky got like green, which I've never seen before in my life. And I looked up and it looked like there was a big hole in the sky and it was like shifting in a circle and it was just like very ominous and huge and not anything like I've seen before. And then it started hailing. Like this hail was the size of like a softball. So like we're inside watching like giant balls of like snow hit the ground at like, I don't even know how fast. Like at that point, like the wind was so hard that like standing outside would hurt because you'd get like rocks hitting you so fast that it was like painful. Like, I mean, dude, I'm telling you, like a tornado is not something to fuck with.
No,
I was like,
no.
damn, like an earth. I remember sitting through some earthquakes and I'm like, whoa, like I feel like I'm drunk. This is awesome, you know? But that was totally different. I was like, oh my God, I might die.
Like this is going to tear the fucking roof off. Holy shit.
Like it's really scary. It's pretty fucking scary. I would never live in Oklahoma ever.
That's still super fucked up to me that you got in trouble here and then they sent you to Oklahoma as punishment.
Yeah. And then, so get this, when I came back, I went to court and it was a different judge and they're like, oh, that doesn't count for anything. So actually we're just going to like put you on probation and like make you do all this other stupid shit. So I was on probation for another 2 years after that. And I had to do like a bunch of community service and I had to go to like all these meetings and it was just like, I basically dealt with a DUI for like 4 years. So I haven't gotten a car yet. It's been kind of like, I've just been putting it off. Maybe I'm afraid I'm going to get another DUI. I mean, I think driving drunk is really stupid. Like,
well, yeah, you really end up in dumb. Oklahoma.
Yeah, you end up in Oklahoma or you kill somebody, but I'm just
Oklahoma's worse.
Oklahoma's definitely worse. Like half the population has diabetes. It was crazy.
No shade to any listeners in Oklahoma. I don't like your state. You should leave. Don't come to California though. Our rent's high enough.
Don't come to California. It's too expensive. You wouldn't be able to afford it.
Just move to Arizona or Nevada.
I mean, it's so close. You know, you could just drive to LA.
Right, you day trip to LA.
Yeah.
Unless you're hot or funny or have some talent, then come on down. But if you're just like regular dude, go to a different state.
Yeah, so I've actually been thinking about moving since I got robbed. I've been like kind of paranoid about living where I'm living. So I'm like, oh, maybe I should move. So I've been looking at places and the rent is retarded. It's doubled. It's straight up doubled. Like I'm paying $2,000 for a 2-bedroom, 2-bath.
That's a fucking steal.
I know. Like I'm looking at places and I'm looking at like 1-bedrooms. And before, you know, a 1-bedroom was kind of out of the question, but I'm like, okay, you know what? Like, I'm really tired of dealing with shitty roommates and just like, it's just been like a struggle for the last year. And it's honestly kept me from making money because it's been a distraction for me. It's been like kind of stressful.
Well, you can't create content in the living room if you got to worry about your roommate walking in.
Exactly. So I'm like, okay, maybe if I lived on my own, like it wouldn't matter because I would be making more money. So, you know, maybe it's not a big deal. But it is kind of a big deal because it's like $1,000 more than what I'm like. I would be paying $1,900 for a 1-bedroom apartment.
That's insane.
I'm just like, I'm looking at places that are like at least somewhat close to as nice as what I'm living in right now, and it's like $1,700 to $1,900 for a 1-bedroom.
Yeah,
everywhere.
Yeah, I know.
Everywhere. Like I'm looking like I don't even want to live in the valley, and I'm like, okay, fine, I'll look in the valley.
The valley's not cheap.
It's the same price, and I'm like, I don't even want to live there. Why would I pay twice as much to move into a smaller apartment in an area I don't want to be? I'm like, this doesn't make sense to me. So I don't know. I might stay in Hollywood. I have a love-hate relationship with Hollywood. It's like, I love Hollywood. I've been out in Hollywood for about 6 years, and I love being like in the mix, and I love the nightlife, and I'm all about that shit. But then like, there's like tweakers and trannies and fucking homeless people that are like breaking into my building and just all over the place.
It's fucked up. Like,
and the traffic is so bad. It's like, I don't know. It's definitely a give and take relationship.
As nice as my place is, I've kicked homeless people out of here.
It's crazy. You're just like, dude, what? Like
this building, there are homeless people living on my roof.
Mm-hmm. There was homeless people living on my roof. And I went up there and I was like, hold up. I saw an extension cord going somewhere. And I was like, this is so weird. So I followed the extension cord and I found like someone was like living on the roof of the roof. There was like a little elevated roof area that they were like cubbied into, and they were getting electricity for free from my roof. I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, they're living here. Like, look at the dope view. They got the dopest view, right? They're like living on my fucking roof for free, getting free electricity. It was blowing my mind. I was like, maybe I should be homeless, like, why am I paying this much money when people can just straight up live on my fucking roof for free?
Oh, it's fucking crazy.
It's so infuriating.
Like I have a furnished roof upstairs, so like there's furniture and all that shit. Some dude,
man.
There's like sectioned off where like people's air conditioners are.
Mm-hmm.
They push 2 of the couches up there together in the air conditioning area, so they're out of sight. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? The amount I pay for this goddamn building, and there's homeless people living up here. The fuck?
It's so annoying. It's really annoying. Yeah, no, since I've lived in my building, it's been owned by 3 different people. So it's like the rules are constantly changing, and like the security is changing all the time. Like it's gotten way better. But it's just like, it's been a struggle. I don't really know why. Like, I don't know. Like if you're paying a certain amount, you'd think that like certain things would just come with the fact that you're paying that much, but I don't know. Not necessarily, I guess.
Not necessarily. Hear that, Oklahoma? Go somewhere else. You don't want to come here. People will ninja into your apartment from the roof.
It's crazy, man. Like, so after I got robbed because I allowed my sister to move back in, and she had like a friend that she was like, oh, I want to split the room with her. And I was like, sure, she seems nice, but she was actually a total psycho, and I had to kick her out because her boyfriend robbed me. And then he tried to assault me because I accused him of robbing me. And so I was like, listen, you can't live with me anymore. Like, this is too much. So I kicked her out, and she came back. But I've been like, I forgot where I was going with this.
I couldn't tell you.
I couldn't tell you. Shit.
So your sister came back.
Yeah. And she was like, oh, I've changed. Blah, blah, blah. I'm going to get a job. Blah,
Older,
blah, blah.
younger sister?
She's a younger sister. And I was like, okay, well, I'll help you out. Here's a chance to like, get back on your feet, blah, blah, blah. And it just like, it never really panned out. And then, I got robbed, and then I got robbed again. And I was just like,
wait, what happened the second time?
The second time, that's what I was going to say. Okay, so they broke in through the roof. So I've been like super paranoid. So like because I'm on the top floor. They came in from the roof, and they scaled down the side of like the balcony and like used like the balcony light to like jump down on the balcony. So like when I got home, the balcony light was all bent and shit. So like I assumed how they got in because everything else was locked. And so it's like, so I'm paying all this fucking money for rent, and like I told my landlord I got robbed, and then I told her how I got robbed, and then the other day I texted her and I'm like, hey, like there's someone on the roof. I'm kind of freaking out about it. Like, can you help? Like, help me or like do something? And she basically texted me back and was like, hey, like that's not my job. Here's the police's number. And I was like,
the fuck?
Are you fucking serious? Like by the time I call the police, whoever's up there is probably not going to be up there anymore. Because when I've called the police in the past, they take about an hour to show up.
Oh, yeah. No, LAPD, unless it's like a violent crime in progress,
it's crazy.
Forever.
It's like, yo, like when the first time this guy was like freaking out at me for accusing him of robbing me, like I called the police and they took an hour to show up and I'm like, yo, he's gone. Like, I don't know where you guys why did you take so long? So it's frustrating because like, so like my landlord won't do anything even though she's in the building. And then like, I know that like, unless I go down and get the police, they can't even get in my building.
Right.
So if I'm in my house, like freaking out, like, oh my God, I'm being murdered. Literally no one could get to me. And it would just be like, what's the point of even calling the police? Like, you know what I mean? Like it's frustrating. As maybe like Hollywood is just because it's so saturated. Like I'm sure if I was in Pasadena and I called the police, they'd probably show up in like 15 minutes. Like it's not like the crime rate's not as high over there. So I feel like they're not really like taken up by other more important shit. So like out here, it's just like, it's scary. You know, I didn't realize that the cops took that long. And it's like, I don't know. Like it just freaks me out because I'm like, who do I call if someone shows up at my house?
You gotta take shit in your own hands, unfortunately.
Tries to like rob me. It's crazy. I don't know if I should move or not. Like I really don't want to because I'm paying such good rent.
Right? And where are you gonna go? I mean, you're gonna go to the fucking valley? Fuck that.
No, I don't want to. I would probably be like, okay, fine, I'll pay more and I'll just live in like maybe go to like Los Feliz area or like Silver Lake because I really like those areas. Because it's close enough to Hollywood and like LA and the valley, but like in a nicer area. You know, it's like all hipsters. It's not like crackheads as much, I guess.
I was in Little Armenia when I first moved to town.
Me too, actually.
And I had a 1-bedroom. I never had any problems, but female friends, when they'd go to leave my place, sometimes had some street harassment going on. Like, yo, dudes would be hollering at them as they walked back to their car and shit.
Yeah.
But I guess that could happen anywhere.
For sure. It's very true. I mean, honestly, like, there's so many, like, weird areas, too, like, just between, like, here and Los Angeles. Like, it's hard picking, like, I don't know. It's just so expensive. I'm just like, fuck. Or maybe I'll just get like a really scary dog.
That is the best protection you can get. Seriously.
Someone kept telling me that. They were like, because I've been posting about like, you know, I posted about getting robbed and how I've just kind of been like paranoid every time I like hear some shit or, you know, I'm home alone or whatever. And someone was like, yo, like you need to get a dog. You need to get like this kind of dog and blah, blah, blah. And they kind of told me about like, yeah, this kind of dog like fucks with you but doesn't fuck with anyone else. And I'm like, oh.
Well, that's the thing about dogs. Like, it's a bigger deterrent than anything else because you could have a gun, but if you're not home, that just got robbed.
Yeah.
A dog,
sure.
Someone tries to break in, they're like, oh shit.
Yeah. Yeah. The dog's
like, whoa, fuck that.
Yeah.
Especially if it's some homeless crackhead. They're like, I want no part of this.
Yeah. That's true.
Plus then you have some companionship, you know, and slow night, like, oh, I got my puppy to play with.
Yeah, that's so true. Maybe I should get a dog. I'm thinking maybe I'm like, okay, if I'm already gonna like be okay with paying $2,000 for a 1-bedroom, I might as well just like keep my apartment and just like use the other room for something else.
Yeah, you might as well.
And get a puppy.
Fuck yeah. Hell, that could be the puppy's room.
That could be the puppy's room. Oh my god.
What kind of dog are you thinking?
I would spoil the shit out of that dog. What's a good? I mean, I know Akitas are really good guard dogs. I'm just trying to think like. Because I want a dog that wouldn't be really difficult to leave home by itself. Like I have 2 cats. So I'd want a dog that would get along with cats and also not freak out if I needed to leave for like 2 days.
Well, 2 days.
I mean, I could probably have someone come by and like take care of it.
Yeah, you're going to have to.
Well, for sure, like go to the bathroom and stuff. But like, I wouldn't want a dog that's like super needy. If that
Definitely.
makes sense. So I'm not really sure. I'll probably have to do some research.
I don't even think that's a breed thing. I think that's like a individual dog's personality.
Thing. Yeah, for sure.
But I definitely think you can get one from, go to the Humane Society, find a puppy that needs a good home.
Yeah.
That wants to protect you.
I would definitely, like, I've pretty much rescued, like, all the animals I've ever had. So, I don't believe in breeding or breeders, and that shit just kind of bothers me. It's like there's so many animals that are, like, homeless, And it's crazy. Like, 'cause I used to, when I had to do community service, I was doing community service in an animal shelter. So I got to take care of a lot of animals, and I saw a lot of animals come in that were just like people were just like, yeah, so like this animal, like my pet's too old, so like here you go. Like we had him for 10 years, but he's just too old, so like we're just gonna give him another pound.
That's so fucked up.
And you're just like, well, what?
It's like
that's so crazy to me. Like any animal I've had more than a couple years is like a family member. Like how do you just be like, you know what? Like I'm kind of over it. Like sorry.
I feel like they're doing that shit because they're afraid that their animal's going to die. Mm-hmm. They're like, I can't deal with this family member dying, so I'm just going to send him to the farm upstate.
That's so crazy. Fuck.
It's fucking cowardice is what it is.
That's so nuts.
So we got to get you a dog. We got to, do that shit soon.
Yeah. Oh, I'm kind of excited. I'm going to get a dog.
Any idea what you want to name it?
Okay, well, I named my two cats, I named them Milo and Otis. After that, I don't know if you ever saw the movie Milo and Otis. I would almost want to name it after like a movie, just to be cliche.
Name it Stitch.
Ooh, that's a good name. That's a good name, actually.
There you go. Lilo and Stitch. Boom.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Maybe your dog will turn out to be an alien.
That would be nice.
Then you can do hallucinogens with it.
Right?
To the folks at home, I am not suggesting feeding hallucinogens to dogs. Don't misconstrue what I just said there. That is not what I'm suggesting at all. If the dog just happened to turn out to be an alien, then you give it hallucinogens.
Definitely.
How long have you been in Hollywood?
It's been like 6 years, 6 or 7. No, 6 years. Well, let's see. Okay, so yeah, it's been 6 years. Yeah, 6 years.
I'm sure you've seen some crazy shit.
Hollywood is a weird place. It's yeah, it's a weird place. I've also lived like, so I've probably, okay, 1, 2. So I've lived in 4 different places in the last 6 years. And 2 of them were like in Thai town, like right by Western, and then
so you're right over by Jumbo's and all that shit.
Yeah. And then the other 2 were like off of Highland. The one I'm at now is like Fountain, and then the one before that was like I was like Hollywood and Highland. I was like,
why would you do that? Why?
I don't know why I did that.
Do you like tourists? Do you like Transformers bothering you?
No, it was so bad. Like, I hated it. And I moved out and was just like, what the fuck? That was, like, horrible.
Spider-Man hitting on you every day on your way home?
I knew everyone on the boulevard. Like, I seriously would go home and everyone would know who I was. And it was like, no. It was too much. Too many. I can't stand the tourists. They're so bad. And they walk so slow. And it's like, what are you even looking at? Like, maybe the stars, I guess that's what it is. But it's so annoying. I almost know where, like, I feel like at this point I almost know where every star is. Like, it's kind of crazy. But,
I don't understand why people come here for tourism anyways. This is a shit tourist.
I know, I totally agree. It's a shitty area for tourism.
Like, what are you going to do? I'm going to go to the Chinese theater. I'm going to look at some stars. I'm going to get harassed by a homeless person dressed up like Bumblebee.
It's so true, though.
That is your Hollywood experience.
People have told me, like, they've come to Hollywood thinking that the people on the street that take pictures were hired by someone. And I'm like, oh, no. Like, those are just random people.
Right. There's a really good documentary about it.
Up, showing up. I've seen a couple, and it's like, it's fucking nuts. People are just crazy. People are so crazy.
Well, they just don't know. They look. entertainment television.
I'm talking more about the people who do it. I'm like, those people are so nuts.
Hey, they're on a hustle. I don't blame them.
It works. I mean, the fact that it works, I'm amazed. I'm like, it's awesome. Good for them.
Yeah,
honestly.
good on them that they got suckers being like, yeah.
I know, right? And it's all that the tourists are a bunch of suckers. But I mean, I feel like that's like anywhere, really. I guess,
The first time I visited LA was like 10 years, actually almost 10 years ago to the mark. I was out for Halloween in 08, so 9 years ago.
Damn.
My buddy lived in Venice. Like, all I ever saw of LA, for the most part, was Venice. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, dude, I want to see Hollywood. I get out here, I'm like, this is Hollywood?
I know, right? You're like, wow, Field of Broken Dreams. What the fuck?
Like, this is dirty as fuck. Especially 10 years ago, it was even worse.
Oh, I know. Oh, yeah, I know. Even 6 years ago, it was worse. When I first moved here, it was almost like the beginning of the end of like the dirty era of Hollywood. Like, I moved here and like this guy I was dating was like, he was really into like the rock scene and like kind of like the grungy scene in Hollywood. And it was like, as soon as I moved to Hollywood, all these like awesome, cool rock and roll bars just started shutting down, and all these really horrible mainstream, like shitty, they were just really gross. Like I don't even know how to describe it. Like the Rusty Mullet's a perfect example.
Oh yeah, that was Angels and Kings.
Angels and Kings was there, and like now it's just like, I walk by there and I'm just like, ugh.
Angels and Kings was kind of douchey too, but
it was kind of douchey, 100%. But this is douchey on like a douchey level. You know what I mean? Like that was douchey on a rock and roll level. This is just douchey.
I remember ending up at some Burning Angel party there 5-6 years ago.
Oh, nice.
Like, okay, this place is all right. But yeah, the Rusty Mullet, I mean, I occasionally drink there because I have friends that want to go there, but it's not my scene.
Yeah, for sure.
If I'm going to go that far west, I'm going to go to the Roosevelt. I'm going to go to the Spare Room. I'll go to a classy establishment at that point.
Yeah, I like the Roosevelt. The Roosevelt has a couple nice bars, actually.
The Spare Room's so dope.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, it's fucking pricey to drink, but where in Hollywood isn't?
I know. Everything in Hollywood's so expensive.
Hell, even Bronson Bar, like down the street, my local dive is still like $10 whiskeys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say the Frolic Room is my favorite bar, but the Frolic Room is actually probably the cheapest place in Hollywood to drink. You can get drinks for like $9 there, maybe.
Yeah, the cheapest at $9.
I know that's so like not cheap. It's like, but it's like surprisingly cheaper.
Like $9 a Maker's Mark. I could have bought that bottle in 2.5 drinks.
Yeah. When you're buying drinks and you're like, damn, that's just as much as like a small bottle of alcohol. Damn, like what am I doing with my life?
Obviously, we're not successful enough where like that doesn't matter. Fuck it, take it,
right?
Take it. Whatever, $9 a drink. That's nothing.
I don't care.
Hell, the AVN party when it went to a cash bar, they're like, it's $14 a drink. I'm like, well, I ordered it. Fuck. I should have drank more when it was free. Not that I didn't drink a ton when it was free.
I know, right?
But when he was like $14 for a Maker's, I'm like,
yeah. All
right, man. I'm gonna have my last one and go somewhere else. This party's basically over anyways.
Yeah, I remember it started to clear out, and I was like, I should get the fuck out of here.
You up for anything this year?
No, I'm not.
That's bullshit.
I know.
Not even one of the fan awards? What the fuck?
No, I didn't nominate myself either. I was kind of like hoping that my agency would let me know when to nominate myself, and I just kind of dropped the ball on it, and they dropped the ball, and I just didn't get a chance to nominate myself. So, but I am definitely getting nominated next year.
Nice.
I'm gonna make sure of it.
Nice. I'm actually up for a fucking award. How's that working?
That's awesome.
How am I up for an award and you're not? That's so fucked up.
A lot of people I knew got, like almost everyone I knew got, well, it's like I know everyone in the industry, so whatever. But
well, everyone knows everyone. It's a really...
So many people got nominated. I was really proud of everybody.
But I'm not a performer.
Fuck it.
I mean, I'm up for the best non-sex performance, but...
That's awful.
It's like, what the fuck? Legit performers... that's so weird. I'm still like... I want to win just because, like, my competitive spirit, but
yeah.
On another hand, I realize how fucking ridiculous it is that I'm nominated. But whatever, I'll take it. Especially if I win, I will gladly be like, yeah, AVN award winner Matt Slayer. Like, the fuck. The fuck.
For sure. It's so funny.
So comedy.
Yes.
Your real passion, not this porn bullshit.
Yeah. I have been doing comedy for over a year, and it's really fun for me. I talk about the adult industry, and I just have fun with it. I was kind of talking to someone else the other day about kind of my process of kind of what I do, and like I was telling them that I have to go on, and it was interesting because I was watching something the other day on Netflix. It was there's a documentary about Jim Carrey, and he's playing what is his name?
Andy Kaufman.
He's playing Andy Kaufman. Yeah. So that was super interesting because he talked a lot about kind of how I do my comedy, where it's like you kind of make it appear, or you really just like go on and just don't care. And he talked about doing some, he talked a little bit about his stand up, and it was just kind of like you got to be the person that's just like doesn't give a fuck. And I really just like I do it because it's fun, and I don't get paid, so I don't take it that seriously. And my whole attitude is like I'm doing it because it's fun, and if it stops being fun, like I'll probably stop doing it. But I just kind of like go on, and I don't really put too much pressure on myself. Like I'll prepare, and I change my set almost every time. Like the main structure of my jokes is very similar, but I change jokes around and I add new jokes because I hate when people do the same routine.
Well, and you gotta keep tweaking it to see what works. Totally.
So I'll change some stuff around, and I just kind of go on, and I just I just have fun with it, and I just kind of improvise, and I just kind of like do whatever I feel like doing, and it's been working for me. And it's only been times that I've really stressed about the night, or like stressed about like trying to just be perfect, that the show won't go very well.
Well, I don't think anyone wants to go to a comedy show that's perfect.
Exactly.
People want to go see live comedy because unexpected shit happens.
For sure.
A heckler fucking says some shit to you, shut them down. The audience gets to be like, oh shit.
Yeah, right?
Damn. I shouldn't have fucked with her.
For sure.
It's live music, live comedy. People are there to see a show. If they wanted to hear pre-recorded material, they just stay home.
Yeah.
They're paying for the drinks. They're paying for the door to see a fucking show. They want to be entertained by something that is a unique experience.
Yeah.
No matter how many times you've seen a band, seen a comedian, even if they're doing the same material, it should be a little different each time.
I totally agree. I want to go on like a comedy tour, so I'm kind of like trying to set up myself, like because I've already had some people ask me to do shows in different areas for them. And I'm like, well, shit. Like, I guess I kind of like figure out how to, I don't know. So I'm hopefully going to be doing like some sort of comedy like tour soon. I want to do like I've been wanting to travel a lot lately. So I'm kind of trying to like make like a travel schedule, and then like also book like a bunch of stuff like in that area, like while I'm there.
At least hit mics.
Yeah, totally. So like dancing gigs and like comedy, and I was actually doing comedy with a porn star, Rachel Bardot. She's an older porn star. She's been I'm not sure if she performs anymore, but she's been in the industry for a really long time. And I've done some comedy stuff with her, and she was doing comedy tours with strip clubs. So I kind of want to I need to call a couple of places and be like, yo, it would be cool to dance for you and also do a comedy show. You know what I mean? Like, that would be so dope. Like, I could do a comedy show, and then I could just start taking my clothes off and fucking dance.
It's like, oh shit, that joke didn't land. Top.
I know, right? That joke didn't land. Oh my God, exactly.
Like, oh, I'm bombing. Off come the panties. Man, I bet
live in the crowd up.
Male comics would kill for that shit.
Right?
No one's going to be like, oh shit, Dave Chappelle's bombing, he's taking his pants off.
Right? So she told me about that, and I was like, damn, like that would be really cool.
I could imagine those would be some pretty rowdy crowds, though.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially if they're just there to see some tits, and all of a sudden, like, you're cracking jokes. You got to be, like, on fucking point. Otherwise, they'll just be like, show us your tits!
Yeah.
Do you get that when you perform out now?
What, people yelling at me to show them
Yeah.
my tits? No, I don't have many people yell at me, thank God.
So how would you shut down a heckler? Be like, yell some shit like that to you?
Show us your tits. I'd be like, damn, what would I say? Oh, I'd be like, if I had any. I'd probably just shit on myself just to be like, you ain't gotten shit on me.
Nothing wrong with
You wrong.
Nothing wrong with self-deprecating humor. Nothing wrong with that.
I tend to do that a lot when I start like bombing. I'll just be like, wow, good job. Or like, I'll just be really sarcastic and like kind of poke at myself for totally fucking up, which people find hilarious. And I think it's funny. So, but I mean, again, it's just like, you know, I don't take it seriously. So it's not like if someone starts heckling me, I'm like, oh my God, like people really don't like me. You know, I'm just like, I don't give a shit. Like, I don't care if you don't like me.
It's like,
I don't like me. No, I'm just
It's like, fuck you, I'm still successful in another medium.
It's just like, I have so much fun with everything I do, and like, life's too short to take it seriously. So like, I really can't take, I'm like, I don't, #can't take things seriously just because of my perception on life. But like, I feel like that's what is the funnest part about being a comedian, is really seeing the same situation a bunch of other people know and can relate with, but seeing it in a really ironic, funny way, because life is just fucked up. It's really fucked up, and horrible shit happens on a regular basis. And if I took everything that happened to me seriously, I would probably be dead, because I probably would have killed myself already.
Well, we're super happy you didn't do that. It'd be a very one-sided conversation if you'd killed yourself. I'm just here with Nikki Knightly's corpse. I don't know what I'm going to do, folks. I got to dispose of it somehow.
Like,
fuck, I'm just incriminating myself. Fuck.
I need to chop this body up.
No. Bathtub full of acid.
But I feel like I remember watching that in Breaking Bad, and the acid melted through the ceiling. Remember?
Well, that's TV.
Melted the bathtub.
That's TV.
I know, but that seems more realistic than.
Well, I'm not going to find out the hard way. You're not going to die on me. Don't die in my apartment. If you're going to die tonight, leave the apartment first. Make it out of the building.
Right?
Go to a bar. Be with some other people. So, like, when they come to question me, like, what happened to her? I'll be like, I don't know. Oh, she was at Bronson Bar. Ask them.
She was at Bronson Bar. I have no idea.
She didn't die on my watch. I've never had a guest die on my watch, and I'm not going to start tonight.
Thank God. Well, thank God.
Well, yeah, if someone's going to die on my watch, we at least got to get video going first.
Someone's going to die on my watch. It's going to be epic as fuck.
We got to have video going for that.
And there's going to be video.
No one wants someone to die on audio only.
I know, it's kind of lame.
Right? And then
you're like, I feel like I didn't really like experience it. Because
yeah, like what just happened there?
See what was happening.
Did she just choke? What happened? Like,
what did her face look like when she died?
Right. I didn't get to see her face turn blue. It's horribly morbid.
I know.
The death of Nikki Knightly.
Right? I mean, honestly, if I was to plan my own death, it would probably be super epic. But
really, okay,
I would never kill myself.
But theoretically,
I wanted to kill myself. I would probably only kill myself to make a point, or to be like, "Yo, I'm gonna die, so I'm just gonna go ahead and end it right now because I want to do it super epic."
So how would you super epically kill yourself?
Well, I feel like there'd have to be like.
One sec before you tell us, did you see the thing in the news about the Croatian war criminal who just downed poison in the middle of The Hague during his war crimes trial?
He did what?
So this happened yesterday.
Okay.
This convicted war criminal, they had a retrial for his war crimes. They convicted him again. He stood up in the middle of The Hague in Amsterdam or in the Netherlands and said, "I am not a war criminal. I do not accept your judgment." Downed a shot of poison and said, "I just ingested poison," and then died.
Wow.
So can you top that?
I feel like, okay, I would probably do something like I would jump out of an airplane with like a shark and do like some crazy like acrobatic shit and then like jump into a shark's mouth or something like in midair.
I was about to say, like, why are you taking a shark with you? That's not cool. What'd the shark do? Why did the shark deserve to die?
And then we would do it over like the ocean so that the shark would land back in the water. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but if you're not going to do it with a if you're jumping out of a plane
with a parachute.
right, if you're jumping out of a plane without a parachute and a shark, the shark's going to die from impact too.
That's true.
And the shark didn't do shit. The shark didn't deserve to die.
That's true. Okay. All right. Okay. Maybe something like
I'm going to help you iron out this plan.
there would definitely need to be fireworks involved as well. I haven't put much thought into it yet. So
well, I'm helping you. I'm helping you with your process right now. Okay, so we have skydiving. Mm-hmm. So to properly execute this, you're going to have to
be doing. Yeah,
you're going to have to do a bunch of skydiving beforehand. Otherwise, you're just going to be. Yeah, they don't let you jump.
Yeah.
They don't let you jump by yourself until you have a bunch of jumps under your belt.
True.
So you better start jumping now.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna go jump out of an airplane with my dad for my birthday, and then
he died. No.
And then he died. And then I totally chickened out. And I know.
You fucked up.
I know, but he's still like, okay, well, if you ever look into it, let me know. And I'm like, okay.
No, do it. Fucking do it.
I've been putting it off, but I'm like, okay. I'm building up the nerve.
I've done it.
I really want to do it.
I've done it. It's great.
Like I have to do it in the next year for sure.
No, fucking do it. When I did it, because I'm a piece of shit. The first time I did it was shortly after a pretty big breakup.
Okay.
And they make you sign like 15 pages of forms saying we will not be held responsible. Who is your emergency contact? I put my ex as the emergency contact.
Oh my God.
Because I'm a dick.
Because if you died, it's just fucking she gets a phone call.
Yep.
God, can you imagine?
I was a little emotionally distraught at the time. It was a messy breakup.
For sure. I've been through a couple of those.
And what I didn't really visualize in my head is the kind of plane you go up in. So it's a little like putt. And they've got us packed in like fucking sardines. I'm strapped to the dude I'm jumping with. Uh-huh. And like I have the people who are jumping in front of me like sitting in my lap. Because you're packed in like fucking sardines. And I'm just kind of like, oh my God, why did I do this?
Yeah.
We get up to altitude, and there's 5 sport jumpers, like professional skydivers, on the plane with us. They go first. The 5 of them just launch out at the same time. I'm like, well, now I kind of feel like a bitch about being afraid about this. One of those dudes went out backwards.
Yeah.
I'm strapped to a dude who does this 10 times a day. We get to the door. And this is
oh my God.
This is at Skydive Chicago, which is in rural Illinois.
Yeah.
And you can see the tracks of farmland. Mm-hmm. It's like there's a farm. You know, you've been in a plane where you fly over middle America and you see the various.
Yeah, totally.
So you can see that from the plane. I'm like, holy shit. My knees are hanging out. And in my head, I'm like, I'm not sure I want to. And then we're out of the plane. Like, oh shit. It's like a super fast roller coaster. It's like, whoosh. And nothing in this world is a better sensation than the parachute opening and you going into canopy. It's like, oh my God, I'm going to live. I'm going to fucking live. And you're still hundreds of feet in the air when you're under canopy. And my instructor, the guy I'm tied to, is like, okay, we're going to do some turns. So if you pull on the toggles, you turn. If you pull it really hard, you do something called a red turn, where you start spiraling. It's like, oh God, that's a little rough, man. My stomach's not handling this so well. We make it to the ground. It is an amazing sensation.
That's awesome.
And it's about being bigger than your fucking fear. Because once I was actually in the air, I'm like, you know what? This is beyond my control at this point.
Yeah.
If shit goes wrong, there is nothing I can do about that.
Yeah.
And it was just fucking liberating.
That's awesome.
Fucking do
That's
it.
So rad.
Chris Johnson, who used to be male talent, I don't know if he still performs,
Name sounds familiar.
is a dive master.
That's rad.
He actually got in the biz because he got injured skydiving and needed other work. But in recent years, I know he's gone back to being a dive master. So if you run into him, you should be like, yo, man.
That's awesome. That's so awesome.
No, skydiving's fucking amazing. Like I am really upset about it because at the time, I'm like, I got so hyped. I'm like, I'm gonna do all the jumps I need to be able to jump on my own. because it becomes really cheap once you're certified.
Oh, wow. That's rad.
Because like the 150 a jump is only when you're like tandem to somebody, they're providing the parachute and all that shit. Jumping on your own, like once you're certified, was like $35 a jump.
That's awesome.
It's like $2,000 to get certified, all the jumps to do it, and then like $35 after that.
That's rad.
And unfortunately, Skydive Chicago's was 70 miles away from my house. Otherwise, I would have followed up on it. But let me know when you want to go. I'll go again.
Okay. That's awesome. I'm so down. I love I love doing crazy shit like that. I really want to, I've been thinking a lot about Thailand recently, and I want to go to I love traveling, and I love just doing I just love doing crazy shit.
Where have you been?
I've been to Germany, and I've been to Italy. I went to the Amalfi Coast in Italy. It was my favorite place, honestly, that I've been to. And then I've been to a couple different areas in Germany. I was mainly in the area of Hanover. I really wanted to go to Berlin, and my cousin was just it was just too far away. It was a 5-hour drive, and I was like, fuck, we weren't there long enough to really travel all of it. So I've been looking more into making money overseas and taking a couple months and just traveling.
I know a bunch of girls that are shooting in Prague.
I know. There's a bunch of girls shooting in Prague, and I kind of want to hit up a bunch of companies and be like, yo, I want to do a tour. I want to come through and stay for a month and shoot a bunch of scenes and just make some money and just travel. I feel like I've been waiting too long, and I just know so many girls that make money and just do that on a regular basis, and I'm like, well, why am I not doing that?
Right? You should be fucking reaching out.
I need to be
do that shit.
100%. Yeah.
For me, I try to do 2 international trips a year. I did Cuba this year. I did Amsterdam, Munich, and Helsinki.
How was Cuba?
Cuba's fucking rad.
I bet.
It's so weird.
Is it? It's got to be such a trip. I'm actually part Cuban. I have, I probably still have family actually in Cuba, but I wouldn't know who they were. But I've wanted to go to Cuba for a really long time, and I know a decent amount about Cuba, and it just seems like it would be such a mind fuck going over there. You're in a different time.
I was off grid for 10 days, no internet for 10 days.
Wow.
Which was a trip in itself.
Yeah.
No Facebook, no nothing. Did not have service.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's for fucking haggle over there. Everything.
Interesting.
I've talked about this a couple times on the show before, but it's 3 different economies going on. So there's the straight tourist economy. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you're aware, there's 2 national currencies. Mm-hmm. So there's the CUC, which is 1-to-1 with the US dollar.
Okay.
Sort of.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the CUP, which is roughly 25 to the US dollar. The CUP is what nationals are paid in. The CUC is just tourist money. And the reason I say it's kind of 1-to-1 with the USD is you can't get them off the island. You can't get Cuban money from a bank in the States. You can only get them from Cuban banks.
Yeah.
They charge a 3% surcharge to exchange any money into Cuban money. On top of that, they charge an additional 10% to change US dollars.
Damn.
So you're really looking at 87%.
Wow.
By the time you exchange it. So if you stick to the tourist areas, things are super clean, super nice. Cheap, definitely cheaper than America, but not super cheap.
Right.
We got a baller ass Airbnb. And we were, further out of town. We got to experience. We had 2 native Spanish speakers with us too.
Cool. That's super helpful.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm I don't speak any Spanish.
I know enough to kind of get by. Mm-hmm. And we learned, if you speak Spanish and you're not in the tourist areas, things are very negotiable.
Yeah.
None of the cabs have meters. You're haggling with everybody.
That's kind of crazy. Wow.
And then there's if you're actually a Cuban national prices. Mm-hmm. One of my buddies hooked up with a girl, and they went out away from the rest of us. They went to some hostel or some shit for the night, and she was negotiating the cost of the room, and they're like, it's $5. And then he opened his mouth, and they realized he wasn't Cuban, went up to 15.
Oh, wow.
It's oh, okay. He's cabs that we were doing for $5-6 a trip ended up being $1. Mm-hmm. when he was with the girl when she was doing all the talking.
Yeah.
It's just a crazy place. The food's rad.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Cuban food's definitely one of my favorite kinds of food. 100. I love Cuban food so much. Like fried plantains is like, I grew up on that shit. It's so good.
Nice.
Love it.
Yeah, the restaurante particulares, the restaurants that are in people's homes, were so fucking good and cheap.
That's awesome.
We went out to some Cuban bar that was like in the neighborhood. Like they saw that our gringo asses, they're like, pick some girls to come in. Like, okay, we just picked some girls that were waiting to get in to come in with us.
Yeah.
Buck a beer. And I feel like they were overcharging us. No, it was a great place. It was a really weird place. Just everyone's on a hustle. Like we did a cigar tour. And our tour guide is telling us like his wife's a doctor. He makes more as a tour guide than she does because she's paid by the state.
Wow.
And he gets tipped by tourists.
Yeah, that's so crazy.
And
whoa.
He's trying to sell us cigars like off the line while he's giving the tour. And one of my buddies kind of got like mugged / sold cigars. He made eye contact with one of the rollers, and the guy's like, he's kind of, sure. As we're walking down the stairs out of the factory, the dude rolls up to him, stuffs 10 cigars in his pocket, and takes $40 out of his wallet.
Wow. Oh my God. That's so crazy.
Yeah, no, it's... But you got to remember, the average Cuban salary is $40 a month, U.S.
That's nuts.
So that dude just, stole from his employer, but how much money did he just fucking make?
Yeah. Wow.
No, it's a crazy place. I want to go back one day. It'd been a place that I've been wanting to go for like over a decade.
Yeah.
As silly as it sounds, what made me want to go to fucking Cuba was a Playboy article from like the mid-2000s.
That's awesome.
I forgot, some point in the mid-2000s, Playboy did a review of like restaurants and dining and nightlife in Cuba, and I'm like, oh my God, I want to fucking go. Well, and there's something appealing to me about going someplace that has no Americana, no Burger King, no McDonald's, no Starbucks.
I agree. I mean, as much as I love America, there's definitely a lot of things I hate about America, and it's those like things that make us American, like Burger King and all that shit that I'm just like, God, like even just middle America. Like I'm not really like a huge fan of the like the middle of the country, you know? Like that's kind of a big part of the culture, but it's just like, oh God. There is something so awesome about a place that hasn't been tainted by America. I totally agree.
Well, especially when you're traveling, because when I'm traveling, I want to have unique experiences.
Yeah.
I don't want to just go to America Light. Like, I've been to London, and it wasn't different enough. Yeah, there's definitely differences. But it wasn't different enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, I don't know if I'll ever go back to London. I may go to other parts of the UK. But
yeah. My mom was telling me she knew someone that went to London, and they bought they came back with a Hard Rock London jacket. And she was like, why would you go all the way to London and spend the afternoon in a place like the Hard Rock that is already in the United States? Like it's just like it's like you just killed the purpose. What was the point of sitting on the airplane for that long if you're gonna go to a fucking place that you can go in any state in the United States? Like it's just so dumb.
Yeah, my buddy, when we went to Japan the first time, it's like, I'm going to McDonald's. I'm like, the fuck you are?
Like, no.
Oh, he went.
I wouldn't go to McDonald's in the United States. Like I wouldn't. Okay, maybe the McDonald's in Germany just because they sell beer.
Well, I believe the Japanese ones have alcohol too, but it's still
so dumb. Like it's like
there's rad noodle shops every fucking block.
I mean, McDonald's. I hate McDonald's, and Japan is one of those places that's like known for their food. Like, I mean, how many fucking travel fucking shows have I seen where it's just like, I mean, the food there is off the chain. Like, why would you go somewhere like McDonald's? Why wouldn't you have why would you have anything but seafood? You know, like,
oh, because the beef is
ramen.
The beef is rad too.
Oh, is the beef awesome?
Oh yeah, like, so we were staying at the Ritz-Carlton, and we discovered a teppanyaki place. Like, it's like a Korean barbecue spot where you grill your own meat across the street. It's like They served Kobe sashimi, like raw Kobe that you just dipped in soy sauce and
Kobe washimi?
Sashimi.
Or
like,
sashimi, sorry. Sashimi.
Yeah.
Wow. I've never even heard of that. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, here's raw Kobe, dip it in some soy sauce, melts in your mouth. It's fucking amazing.
Wow. That's crazy.
No, I had no bad meals in Japan. Tokyo is the only place I've been to twice. And I will happily go back again.
Tokyo is definitely on my list.
Go.
I've been wanting to. Tokyo's definitely high up there. Like that. It's been Tokyo and Thailand are the two places I'm like, I have to go in the next year for sure. Like, my next trip is definitely going to be Thailand. And then honestly, it'll probably be Tokyo after that. And then maybe I'll do some more stuff in Europe, like, or even just like Iceland or New Zealand. I mean, there's so many cool places. Like,
if you're going to do all the ride all the way down to New Zealand, hit Australia too.
That's a good idea.
Like, I've been to Sydney. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I think it'd be more fun. It's more fun as a dude than a girl.
Really?
Australian girls love Americans for some reason. Like, I was in this bar, this like cocktail bar, and girls are just buying me drinks. Like,
It's so weird.
I'm like,
I feel like that's so like, I feel like most people hate us. It's so strange.
I found people don't hate Americans outside of America because they feel any American who's willing to leave America is actually not an idiot. Well, because you think about it, only 30% of us have passports.
That's
Only-
so low.
Only 10% of the people that have passports actually use them.
What?
Yeah, so a small fraction of Americans that actually go out and see the world.
That's so sad.
Completely.
That's depressing as fuck. Holy shit.
You
guys are dumb. Come on.
I am super bummed I waited till my 30s to start seeing the world. Tokyo was actually the first place I went to outside of the country.
Oh, nice.
And it is so wildly different than America. It's amazing.
It's awesome. Yeah, I've watched a bunch of stuff about it.
And it's just like, oh my God, America does not do everything number one. Seriously, Tokyo has the largest train system in the world. It is the largest city in the world. Their subway system is easier to get around on than New York's.
I bet.
Like-
Yeah.
In a whole nother fucking country, another language. Easier to get around on.
Yeah. Wow.
It's
crazy.
the food was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
The people were super friendly.
I've heard stories of like people getting drunk and like passing out in the street and like no one drew on their face or like stole their wallet. Or like if someone gets their wallet stolen, it gets like not even stolen, but like people don't really get like robbed over there. But like
so violent crime is not a thing.
Yeah, for sure. And then like if someone loses their wallet, the other person that finds it usually goes really out of their way to return it. And I was hearing all these little stories of just like personal things that have happened with other people where they were like, yeah, like I was in Tokyo and like this happened and then like this happened, or like, I lost my wallet and this, or like, I passed out and this didn't happen. And I'm like, wow, that is just so different than American culture. Like, we just shit all over each other all constantly. Like,
oh, I know firsthand about passing out drunk in Tokyo. I've told this story on the podcast before. Sorry, guys, if you heard this one before. My buddies left me at a bar called Science because I was trying to pick up the bartender.
yeah.
I got blotto blackout drunk.
Oh, God.
Like, the last thing I remember was watching some horrible Nickelback like cover band.
Oh, God. Oh, no.
To be fair, the bartender like had dyed blonde hair and was wearing a Cannibal Corpse shirt.
That's awesome.
I'm like,
Heck
this
yeah.
is where I want to be.
Yeah, totally.
Next thing I remember is waking up in a cab and puking out the window.
No. Oh, God.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, bad American stereotype right now.
Oh, God.
I couldn't communicate to my cab driver how to get back to the Airbnb. So he dropped me at the nearest station. That's where I told him to drop me. I passed out in a planter, at Shibuya Station, which is one of the busiest stations in Tokyo. Literally 1,000 people cross the street when the light changes.
Wow.
It's like, you ever seen that iconic like big X where like thousands of Japanese people? That's Shibuya Station.
Wow.
Passed out in a planter. I'd come to every so often like, I know the Airbnb's that way. I'm not ready to go yet. Eventually I come to enough to get another cab.
Uh-huh.
Communicate with them how to get to the Airbnb. Realize that I have no money on me. Somewhere in the drive, I'm texting my friends like, I may have to run on this cab.
Oh no.
I don't know what the fuck to do. Thankfully, I had exactly enough coins to pay him. Pay him. So we were the key we had was in a mailbox. Struggled for 25 minutes to get the key.
Oh my God.
I'm like texting my buddy, like, I know the combination. It just won't fucking open.
Oh my God.
Eventually get upstairs, clean myself up, pass out. And though violent crime's not a thing in Japan, one of the things that will happen in some shady establishments is they'll drug you and max your credit cards.
That's a little sketchier than just getting robbed.
I don't know, man. I'd prefer that. I can contest those charges. I don't have to worry about getting stabbed or...
They drug you?
Yeah, that's a common crime there.
Wow. That's
like,
kind of crazy.
Dudes will be like, you want to go to a strip club? You'll go to the strip club. They'll drug your drink. And then max your credit card. So I check my bank accounts in the morning. $300 is missing from my account. Like, oh, fuck. I got fucking drugged last night. There's no way my alcoholic ass got that blackout drunk. Freaking out. Open my wallet, $300 in it. My blackout drunk ass is like, no, you need more money to pay for cabs, asshole. Apparently drunk Matt knows what the fuck to do. But yeah, I sat in that station probably about 2 hours unmolested.
Unmolested.
Seriously.
Nice.
And because we retraced my steps the next morning, like using the health app on the phone, you know, and count your steps. Like where the gaps were in my steps.
That's awesome.
Like using the GPS and using the,
Yeah.
Like, this is where you passed out drunk, asshole. So pro tip for you.
When I got my phone taken, I went online and I looked up. I was able to GPS exactly where I was and where my phone was and all this crazy shit. And I'm like, wow, like this is where, like, it's really funny, like, because I was also like totally inebriated, and I was like, where the fuck did I go? Like, yeah, that's awesome. That's an awesome story, for sure.
I try to do a little living here and there.
For sure, yeah, same. Like like as horrible as it was getting robbed, like it kind of made me realize that, what the fuck am I doing? Like not traveling and like not like constantly doing cool shit. Like I just like it totally like brought like it kind of dragged me down for a little while, and I got really depressed, and I was just like I didn't want to leave my apartment and all this shit, and then I was just like, this is so dumb. Like I should just leave the country and like go travel for a month or something. And
in the position what you do for a living, there's no reason you shouldn't.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I could definitely make money like on Snapchat. I mean, there's so many different ways for me to make money overseas anyways. Like, it's not like I need to be here to make the money I'm making. Like, even with porn, like, you know, I could be shooting in Prague, and I know a lot of girls that have gone out there and shot for a while, and I'm just like, why am I not doing that?
Hell,
like,
for fuck's sake, you could travel with some gear, shoot in your fucking Airbnb or wherever you're staying, upload it at some internet cafe, and have money come in from your clips while you're abroad.
Yeah, I know.
Like, you're in a position where you have the absolute freedom, and you're young enough to fucking do it. You're not tied down. You've got no kids.
Yep.
You have no kids, right?
I have no kids. No. I don't want kids.
High five on that shit.
I'm like, I kind of, you know what's funny is like, I was talking to somebody about this the other day, and I was like, it's weird because I think about kids, and it's not that I don't like kids, but I personally have never wanted kids. And even as a kid, I never wanted kids. You know those kids that were obsessed with having kids or obsessed with getting married, or like they even had like little baby dolls that were like fake babies that they'd pretend to be their baby. I never did that ever. And I didn't really like notice it until like I was talking to somebody about it like really recently. And I'm like, yeah, like I guess now that I think about it, I've never really wanted a kid. Like it was never a choice that I was like, yeah. And I finally decided I'm not going to have kids. Like, I guess I've always been selfish my entire life.
There's nothing wrong with that.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with that either.
There's too many fucking people on the planet.
Way too many. Well, that's the other thing is I feel like there's no population control. And there are so many fucking stupid people on this planet. Like, do I really need to make another one? You know, like who's to say that my kid's not going to turn out completely retarded and destroy everything? Like, I don't know. Like,
right, and I'm not so...
I don't know, it's just like weird. I don't know.
Personally, I'm not so egotistical that I need a mini me running around.
And that's the other thing is I'm like, I mean, if I really, really wanted kids, like I would probably adopt kids. As hard as it might be, like it's kind of like with the dog thing. I'm like, well, there's so many dogs in the pound. Like why go to a breeder and pay for another dog when there's a dog just as good sitting in the pound? And I don't know. I mean, it sucks that adopting isn't cheaper than having your own kid because...
Well, depending if you have insurance or not, it might be.
Really?
Well, because if you don't have insurance and, you have to pay for delivery and all that fucking shit and they charge you, it could be $100,000 to, give birth.
Yeah, that's true. That's really, really expensive.
Yeah, fuck
kids
that.
In general are just so expensive. Like, I'm just like, damn, like, I'm hoping I have enough to feed myself. I'm like, I don't know about like feeding like a whole other person.
Right. Or
like having to deal with that. Just,
or, hey, I want to come home drunk on Friday night. Can't do that. Got to feed the kid.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's never something that's interested me. Not that I don't like kids, but I
don't dislike kids. I'm just fucking selfish. If I were really well-to-do, if I ever became
selfish.
fucking rich, I'd probably have kids. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to spoil the kid. I just don't want to impact my life negatively. I don't want to have to, work 2 jobs just to make sure there's food on the fucking table for us.
Yeah.
I want to enjoy my fucking life.
You don't want to hate your kid either. Like, I feel like there's a lot of people that have kids in a position where they can't really, like, do it. They make it work, and they kind of resent the kid.
Yeah,
because
like, they've been told that's what you have to do.
Like, how much do you want to ruin your kid's life just because you feel like you need to do the right thing? It's like, is that even the right thing? Like, I just have so many questions. It's like, I don't know. Like I feel like as a young mind is so malleable. Like, I don't even know if I would be a good influence on a kid. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know.
No, I'm right there with you. Like, seriously, like, some of the life lessons I would teach a fucking kid are kind of fucked up. Be like, you know what? You should be attractive as possible at all times.
At all times.
Seriously, because if you're attractive, people just want to do shit for you. Like, that's not a lesson my parents taught me.
Yeah.
Life experiences taught me that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, my parents never were like, hey, if you're pretty, people will just give you shit. Tell me I'm wrong.
It's not wrong. It's
right.
not wrong at all. And that's kind of what's scary is like...
But did your parents teach you that?
Of course not. Of course not. And I mean... The world is a lot different than what our parents told us it would be like. But then again, like, our parents told us based on what they thought they should tell us, not what they knew they should tell us. You know what I mean? And... Again, it's like we really don't know what we're doing when it comes to kids. Like I feel like
our parents were really giant children too. They're just adult children.
Yeah, exactly. And you're just like, okay, well, like I don't know. I mean, people make decisions based on so many things, and it's like, yeah. I saw there's a girl in the industry that just posted about being pregnant today, and I was just like, no. Like in my head, I was like, no, and I was reading all these comments like, oh my god, congratulations, and I just felt like should I post? Like, no, like
no, it's
of course not. Of course I wasn't gonna post that, but I was just like, in my head, I'm just like, you're still so young. Like, she's younger than me, and some people have kids because if they get pregnant, that's just like what they do. You know what I mean? Like,
oh no, I had an ex.
Like, you have kids if you get pregnant.
I had an ex who's like, she got pregnant at 17. And had the kid, and I'm like, why did you? And the kid was a product of a rape. Like, it was a date rape.
Wow.
And it's fucked up. But she decided to keep the kid, and she's like, well, I couldn't. Of course, I couldn't abort her. What did she do? Why should I not bring her into the world? She didn't do anything not to deserve not to exist.
Yeah.
Like. Yeah, but you just fucked your own life.
Yeah. And I mean, like, I guess I'll just never be the kind of person that will ever understand that.
Oh, me neither.
I don't know why. I've never had that really in my family. Like, no one in my family has really been like, oh... Like, my family definitely supports abortion. Like, if I got pregnant, my family would be pressing me to get an abortion. for sure. Like they wouldn't be like, don't have the kid, you know, like. I mean, but I know a lot of people like who I've had some friends who've gotten pregnant and they're like, yeah, my family wants me to keep it. And I'm like, what? But then part of me is like, maybe they just want you to get out of porn. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, it's hard to say, but it's like, is that a reason to have a kid? Again,
fuck no.
No.
Fuck
I don't think it is. I think you should only have a kid when you have another parent who is 100% down to take care of the kid and help you support it. In any other situation, I don't feel like it's really right.
Well, and especially
even raising a kid on your own, it's not only hard on you, but it's like not the best for your kid either.
Fuck no.
You know, like
fuck no.
I don't really know how you rationalize that to yourself. Like I feel like, okay, maybe I wouldn't feel guilty about killing my kid, but like I would live the rest of my life feeling like, well, I can't give my kid what I really want to give my kid,
and I can't live my fullest life,
and I can't live my life. So it's like, it would just be a mind fuck. I just feel like it would just be too much. I don't know. I'd probably just turn into an alcoholic or something.
Cheers to that.
Seriously though, at that point I would just be like, God damn.
No, and I'm a bit older than you. I'm at an age where people I've known for decades are pumping out children left and right. And it's fucking weird to me. One of my best friends, I've known him since we were 7 years old, like first grade. 4 kids. He has 4 fucking kids.
Wow, that's a lot of kids. I'm like, 2 is a lot.
Yeah.
But times that by 2, that's just, I mean, fuck.
The poor bastard has 3 daughters too.
Oh my God.
But
I mean, maybe they feel super fulfilled. On the other hand, I feel fulfilled when I spend a gang of money on clothes for myself. That's what makes me feel fulfilled.
Right?
I feel like having a kid would make me feel empty.
I feel fulfilled when I bump myself up to first class and get day drunk.
There you go. Yeah, first class is yeah. I haven't done that in a really long time, but the next time I can afford to get first class, I'm definitely getting it.
It's the way to be. Especially the international pods. Yeah. Oh, so good. So fucking good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I couldn't fathom. I just can't wrap like this is someone that I grew up with and was friends with, close friends with until our mid-20s. Yeah. And I just don't understand how our lives took widely different turns.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just, I can't wrap my brain around it. I can't. It's fucking crazy. But one of my other buddies that I'm friends with since high school married a girl that has 3 kids. They had one of their own.
Wow. See, then again, there's the whole raising other people's kids. And I've learned this firsthand. Like, both my parents remarried to other people that had other kids as well. And it was just added drama. And, honestly, I don't know how either of my parents did it. But, trying to raise another person's kid, it fucking sucks. Usually you don't like the other person, okay? And so you don't necessarily like the other person's kid. And I feel like most people resent, if you have to take care of someone else's kid, you almost kind of, you treat them differently than your own kid. You know what I mean? And even if you're not trying to, it's just a natural thing. And it's just I don't know. It's just a weird... I really praised both my parents for being able to kind of raise other people's kids, because I'm not sure if I could do that. I really don't know if I could be hey, I love you. I don't know if I could say that and mean it to someone else's kid.
I don't know either. Hell.
I don't know. It's just
the girl I was dating that had the kid, we were kind of serious, and I totally sabotaged the fuck out of that relationship because I freaked out raising someone else's kid.
It's tough. It's not something that's, it's easier said than done, because there's something about other people's kids that just and I don't know if this is because my mom's always told me this, but I just feel I feel the same way. Someone about, it's just not your kid, I don't know what it is, but there's a stigma there.
I think it's biology. Everyone I know who's a parent is oh my God, there's just something when that kid is born, I just love them so much. I just want to hold them and never let them go. And, that's someone else's kid. I think it's just biological.
Yeah. Totally.
I mean, this is my completely uneducated guess. I am not a fucking doctor. I'm not a scientist. I'm just some drunk with a mic.
Totally.
But that's my theory for the folks at home.
Totally. Yeah, no, I would have to agree for sure. It's definitely biological. It makes me think of that episode of The Office when, Jan has that kid and he like wants to pretend like that's his baby mama, but actually she went to like a sperm bank and got it. And like he goes down to the warehouse and he's talking to I forgot his name. He's talking to one of the guys that works in the warehouse and he's like, I don't know what it is, but when I hold her baby, I just don't feel anything. He's like, well, do you feel anything when you hold this? Or what about this? He's like, that's not your baby, and that's not your, and neither is this. It's not your fucking baby. Like, that's why you don't feel anything, because it's not yours. And I'm like, that's so true. Like, I feel like, I don't know, it just makes me think of that. Like, it's not your kid. Like, you just don't have any, like, emotions towards.
Or you have no biological attachment. You're not
biological attachment.
You're not furthering your fucking seed, your genetic line. Hell, if anything, that's competition for your genetics.
Yeah, right?
Like, that other kid's going to compete with my kid for resources. Yeah. Fuck that kid.
Fuck that kid. I need to destroy this child.
Right? How dare you take food out of the mouth of my fucking child? My genetics need to go on. Once again, not a scientist. This is all speculatory.
Oh my God. That's awesome.
This isn't the podcast you were expected to do, was it?
It's definitely fun. I'm enjoying this conversation.
Good. That's what we aim to do here.
Yeah.
We don't want to ask you about like the boring fucking shit that you've been asked a million times.
For sure.
I'm sure the audience is much more interested in your opinion on childbirth and stealing resources from other people's children. And travel.
Sure they are. Oh my God. Let's talk about my website and my okay, so I'm launching a website. I'm actually meeting with someone tonight about it. And I have been putting off making a website for a while, but I haven't.
Slacker.
It's just because I haven't found the right person, and I want my website to be very specific. Like I want to be able to I just want to be able to do a lot of stuff for my site because obviously I don't just do porn. So I do like a lot of other stuff, and I want to be able to incorporate everything I do into one website.
So for the audience at home, what all do you do?
Okay. So I do stand-up comedy. I do video editing. I do like multimedia art. I paint. I draw. I make clothes. I make jewelry. So I want to be able to sell like products that I make, like including prints of like my artwork and prints of like photos and posters and stuff like that. And also I want to create a logo, and I want to create I want to make clothing, and I also want to like print like shirts and jackets that have cool photos of me. Like I want to really get into the whole design aspect of like clothing, because I've done some. I don't know. It's like I want to do so many things because I love just the art world in general. So, I'm currently making a DVD with my friend Disciples of Desire, and he keeps getting his account taken down, but basically he shoots like super artistic, like it would be borderline porn pretty much, but it's all shot in slow motion. I've been shooting with this guy. So we got together the other day and we were editing the DVD together. So we were like, okay, so we're going to take different songs and we're going to make like a mini story, and then we're going to add all these stories together and make like a full DVD. And so we were going through the footage, and he was like, so what I did is I basically put all the footage we've ever shot onto one hard drive. That way I'm not going back and forth between different hard drives. So we were going through all the footage and deciding what I wanted on the DVD. And we looked at some of the first shit we shot, and it was like 2015. And I was like, damn, I've been shooting with you for 2 years on a consistent basis, like at least once a month. And I'm like, so we had so much shit to go through, but it was so good. Like, I mean, I'm like, okay, so we're going to make like a collage of, I've done so many piss videos for this guy, but like really awesome slow motion piss videos where like, there's one that I posted recently where I'm pissing in like a martini glass that's like on the ground. And so I was
That's
like,
some good aim right there.
It's awesome. It looks really
no
good.
splashing, just like
it's a little splashy, but it's still
gotta do
good.
some kegels, get that under control. Like
I know.
Cut it off, just tap.
I know, right? So when we were looking through the footage, I was like, damn.
How many olives?
We have a lot of pee videos. How many what?
How many olives?
How many olives?
Sorry, I had to ask.
I don't know. It's a good question.
Like, how many olives do you put in a glass of pee? People need to know. Like, how do you make that cocktail properly? Sorry, folks. I think I broke Nikki.
That's a good question. But let me think. So like, I've shot with a lot of other performers as well, and so we're kind of just making like a collage of like all the cool shit I did basically, and I want to incorporate. I just want to put everything together. It's so hard because as a creative, I have a really hard time focusing and like really being like, okay, these are all the ideas I have. This is how I'm gonna do it, and like I'm gonna go ahead and take those steps. Like I basically think this is what I want, and then that's where it ends. You know, like I'll have all these ideas and I'll write all this shit down, but I'll be like, how do I actually get all this done? So I've been kind of reaching out to some people and being like, okay, I think it's time that I actually follow through with some of this stuff and start actually doing this and start making some fucking money. And I went to a bar recently by myself, and I met these two random guys, and I started talking to them, and then I became friends with them. And then through that, I went out with one of them, and I was like telling them about, you know, wanting to start a website. And he's like, I know someone who makes websites, and they're really good at it, and they can do pretty much everything you're asking, and they would do it for next to nothing if you'd like to meet them. And I'm like, oh, yeah,
That's fucking awesome.
yeah. So like, you know, the universe is just kind of like making things work out right now, which has been pretty cool. Other than getting robbed, for the most part. Maybe getting robbed was a good thing. Because
No, it might be a good thing. Like, hey,
I was definitely motivated to make more money after that.
free of your material bullshit.
It's definitely new material. For sure. I mean, I like to see everything as new material. Like, especially when it's like really something that I struggle with. I'm like, okay, how am I going to make this into an awesome joke? Because again, like I don't like to take life too seriously, and like, you know, if I focused on all this horrible shit that happened to me and I really made it if I really let it affect me, like I could be, you know, like on a bunch of drugs and really depressed, you know?
Instead of on a bunch of drugs and happy.
Instead I'm on a bunch of drugs and happy, for sure. I just like to see things in a different perspective, and like, you know, like as hard as it's been, it's also been like kind of eye-opening for me to be like, okay, like, you know, it sucks getting robbed, but I'm not on the street. I'm not homeless. I'm not, you know, I'm like, you know, a white woman in America, and I'm good looking, and I can make fucking a shit ton of money if I really put my mind to it.
And you're humble.
And I try to be humble, and
I'm fucking with you. I'm just fucking with you. Sorry.
You know, for me to like, you know, sit and complain about like, oh my God, I got all this money taken from me. My life sucks. Like, my life is still way better than a lot of other people. And I try to remind myself that on a regular basis.
You could have 2.5 children right now.
I could have 2.5 children.
In Oklahoma with your white picket fence.
Oh, God. I never want to go to Oklahoma again.
You could totally be like...
I told myself if I had to drive through it, I would drive around it. I was like, I hate that state so much. You have no idea.
You could be like, Old Country Buffet is our highlight of our week.
For sure.
I'm just assuming what Oklahoma life is like.
It's like... Imagine looking out a window and seeing nothing but grass forever. Except the grass isn't really grass. It's like yellow. That's pretty much what Oklahoma looks like.
Oh, I've been there. I've actually been there.
Okay.
I've actually been to 45 states.
Oh, nice. That's awesome. Fuck yeah.
I'm insanely well traveled.
That's super dope.
I actually spent almost 4 years living out of a suitcase for like a corporate job.
Oh, nice.
And they had me like in an airport every Monday, every Friday. So
wow.
I've been fucking everywhere.
I bet you don't miss planes that often.
I kind of do.
I have the worst luck with airplanes. I recently like missed a bunch of flights. I was like,
was it your fault?
Yeah, it's always my fault. It's always my fault. So I went to San Jose to visit a friend, and then we did like acid and fucking Molly, and then the next day was Thanksgiving, and I had a flight back home. Right. Well, I didn't wake up at all. I my friends tried to shake me. They tried to slap me in the face. Like, I was just like gone. Like, I was done. You know, I was just
Nikki,
like, my body was just like, nope.
Nikki, I hate to break it to you. You're not awake. This is still a dream.
God. Right?
Like, you're just dreaming this.
I wouldn't be completely shocked.
Wake up, Nikki. Wake up.
So, like, I had called the night before to change my flight. So that was $100. And then I missed it. And then I called the airplane back and I was like, I'm going to try to make another flight. So I book another flight. They dropped me off at the airport the next day. It was for the wrong month. So.
Oh, shit.
They dropped me off and I'm like, why isn't my fucking number? Like, why isn't my confirmation number working? This is really frustrating. And no one was working because it was super late. Like, no one was really working. And I was like, yo, I need help. Like, I'm going to miss my flight. And someone finally helps me and they're like, well, what month is it? And I'm like, looking at the thing, I'm like, well, it's for this month, duh. And I'm like, oh, never mind. It's for January. Fuck.
So you booked it 2 months out?
Yeah. So then I was like, okay, so I have to get home. Like, what am I doing? So I bought another ticket. Well, okay, so I had to call my friends and have them pick me up because there were no more flights leaving.
Right.
Like, at all. And this is the day after Thanksgiving, right? So then I had to call my friends and they had to pick me back up. And I was just like, I can't believe this. Like, I feel so dumb. And then I bought another flight, which was like another $100. And then they dropped me off at the airport like 3 hours early. They're like, are you sure this isn't too early? And I'm like, no, it's fine. I'm just going to grab a drink and, you know, whatever. So I go to the bar and I'm like, oh, blah, 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 blah. You know, my flight leaves at 4:50. It boards at like 4:15. So I was like, I'll just get to the airplane at like 4:30, 4:40, right? I get there like after they like booked the last person on the plane and I was just like,
oh yeah, they close the doors more than 10 minutes before takeoff.
Like I'm like, I should have thought this through. Like, what was I thinking? Like, I should have got here like right as they started boarding. So they basically shut the doors on me and they're like, yeah, sorry, we're gonna have to put you on another flight. And I was just sitting there like, dude, I can't believe I was trying to make this time go by so fast because I was stuck here for 3 hours and now I gotta wait another fucking hour before I fucking leave. Like, it's not the first time I've done that. With any of those things, but
Note to self.
What it is about planes, I can't.
Note to self: if I ever travel with Nikki, take control of situation. Make sure she's on time.
Like, why can't I? I'm like, why can't I do this right? Like, I don't understand.
I mean, sometimes it happens to the best of us. I totally missed a flight. I was in Vegas 2013 during the Exotic Dancer Expo. Mm-hmm. I left the most epic. I mean, it's not even a porn party, but the most epic party I've ever fucking been to was in the fucking Hefner Suite at the Palms.
That's rad.
Fucking insane party. And I'm like, I was living in Vegas at the time, but I was flying to Atlanta in the morning. I'm like, okay. Arranged with a friend to pick me up at my place. Mm-hmm. Got home. Didn't hear from him. Put my head on a pillow. My phone died. I wake up too fucking late.
Oh, no.
I'm like, oh. And he's like, I was there, dude. I was sleeping in my car in your parking lot. I'm like, why didn't you call me? Why? I feel like a bigger piece of shit now that, like, you were sitting there waiting for me and I was waiting for you. And,
I was waiting for you. You were waiting for me. Fuck. That's crazy.
That's the only flight I missed. Yeah, that's the only flight I've ever missed. I almost missed a flight earlier this summer leaving. So, because I'm a crazy person, I decided Comic-Con weekend to fly up to the Bay to go to Rob Flynn from Machine Head's birthday bash at the Oakland Metro. So, on Friday, flew up to Oakland. Or Saturday, flew up to Oakland. Mm-hmm. Day drank. Like, my buddy who lives up in the Bay, we ended up at some brewery that was like $50 all you can drink. They were having some Ales for ALS event.
Nice.
Like $50 for ALS research, bottomless beer. I'm like, all right.
$50 for ALS research. That's right.
I'm like, what? $50 and all the beer I can drink? Okie dokie. I get wrecked. Like, just fucking wrecked day drunk. I go to my friend Jessica's place where I'm staying. Mm-hmm. Just on her bed. Wake up in time to go to the show. Like, knock the dirt off, go to the show, drink all night. Turns out one of my buddies was performing on the show. Him and I haven't seen each other in probably a year and a half. Like, we're doing shots with Jessica. Like, we're getting fucking wrecked. Fucking wrecked. I kind of was like, oh, shit, I think me and Jessica are hooking up tonight. And then she pukes on the bar. I'm like, nope, never mind. That's not happening.
Nope, never mind.
And I'm super glad. I mean, like, it sucks that she puked on the bar, but I'm kind of glad that she did, because if she hadn't, I probably would have stayed till my flight drinking with my buddy. Like, because, he's in the band, so they're letting us...
Yeah, totally.
They're letting us stay. We're there after close.
Yeah.
And I would have just kept doing shots.
Yeah.
We catch an Uber back to Jessica's place. She passes out diagonally across her bed with her boots on. I'm like, oh yeah, sex is definitely not happening. I go to try to sleep on like her love seat. Can't fall asleep. I end up making like a fort in her bathtub. I sleep like at this point we're like T-minus under an hour and a half before I have to leave for my flight.
Oh my god, fuck.
I hit snooze like 2 times. My flight was at 5:45 in the morning. I got in the Uber at 5:15.
No, wow. That's like, oh wow, fuck.
I made it like when I made it to Oakland Airport, my flight was already boarding. Thankfully, I had no checked luggage. I have TSA pre-check.
Yeah.
I had my boarding pass on my phone.
Walk right through.
Yeah, I just like right onto the plane.
Yeah. Fuck.
Right onto the plane.
You get the TTS or TSA or whatever.
Get global entry. It comes with TSA pre-check.
Ooh.
And then when you travel internationally, when you come back into the country, you get to check in on a kiosk.
Nice. That's awesome.
It's the best. It's $200 for 5 years.
Wow.
So fucking worth it. Is one of the best things I ever purchased.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then I fly to LAX, have a layover for 2 hours, fly down to San Diego for Comic-Con.
Nice.
Hit Comic-Con hard.
Yeah.
Like, we fucking just hit it hard. And then on the drive back to LA from Comic-Con, I was just dead. Fucking dead. But I'm an idiot. Like,
I do shit like that. Like, for example, I'm going to Holy Shit, which is like a music festival on a cruise ship. And it goes to the Bahamas. And they have 2 weekends. And I've already bought my ticket for weekend 1, but then when the lineup came out, I realized everyone I wanted to see was on weekend 2. So I was like, well, I guess I have to get tickets for both weekends. So I went ahead and I bought tickets for both weekends, because I'm fucking crazy, and now I'm gonna be on a fucking cruise ship for like 8 days. But honestly, like, I'm really excited. I'm so nuts. I'm gonna die.
Don't die.
Totally gonna. I mean, I won't die, but like, I might die.
I don't know. The idea of a cruise ship just isn't appealing to me.
So I went last year, and it was definitely one of the most like awesome experiences.
Sell me on it. Because like I've never actually done a cruise,
Okay, so-
and I've talked so much shit about cruises.
This cruise was okay. So it's a 4-day cruise, and the first day you're at sea, the second day you're on an island, the third day you're like at the mainland, and then the fourth day you sail home. And the first and last day are like whatever, like, you know, it's like you're in the middle of the ocean, but honestly it's really cool being in the middle of the ocean, because especially when the moon like the moon was really huge when I was out there, and like being able to like go out like on the deck and like not see anything but stars and ocean was really cool. That was like a really interesting experience. And then the second day they have an island party on like a really secluded little island, and they basically like build a stage on the island and they play music all day. So you're like on a private island basically partying. Like, I mean, it doesn't really get much better than that.
Okay, fair enough. Because like in my mind, all I've ever thought about cruises is just fucking like being on a mall on the water.
Well, okay, this is a music festival basically on a cruise. So like,
So it's a mall with good music?
It's like, okay, so I understand what you're saying, like being in a mall, like on a cruise, because like I feel like a normal cruise ship would totally be like that, but this is like a music festival cruise ship. So it's like the music starts playing at 12 in the afternoon and stops at like 5 in the morning. And even there were some it was like a set that I saw with Grizz. Grizz was there, the guy that I just recently saw. I went and saw him last year because he performed. He was like one of the headliners, and he played like 5 times, which was so dope. That's the other thing that was cool and different than most music festivals is a lot of the headliners played like multiple nights. So like if you missed them one night and wanted to see someone else, you could still see them like 3 other times, which is fucking sick. And so like the whole cruise ship is set up like a festival. So like, I mean, they have the restaurants and obviously it's like, so, okay, if you've been to many festivals, like a lot of festivals are camping festivals and I've gotten used to that camping life. But what's cool about this is like, you're basically in a hotel. So like you can shower, you can go to your room and sleep whenever the fuck you want. Doesn't matter what time of day it is. You can just close your curtains and take a nap. Like when you're at a normal festival, like it's like you can only really sleep at night and hopefully you're not too close to any stages that like it's so loud you can't fall asleep. And then there's the shower aspect, which is like super crucial. Honestly, like it makes such a difference. And then the food is all inclusive. So they have a 24-hour buffet upstairs where they're just fucking racking out new fucking food, like, you know, every hour or whatever. And the food up there was super bomb. And then there was a couple of hot, like, really, really good, like, sit-down restaurants that had the food that was all free. And then there was a couple of restaurants where, like, it was just, like, you paid a little extra and you got to go to, like, a super fancy restaurant. But all the food was free, which was, like, I mean, at any time, you could just be like, yo, group, let's take a fucking food break and just, like, fucking pig out for, like...
What, no $8 bottles of water?
Whenever. I think the water... That's a good question. No, the water was free.
No, I know. I was assuming the water was free. I was just pointing out the difference between a regular festival where it's like...
Oh, for sure. Yeah. No, exactly. So, like, you know, I would say most festivals, other than maybe Hard, which is, like, the worst festival ever...
I can't be worse than Fire Festival where they fucking robbed people and...
That sucks. Yeah.
Did you not hear about that?
No, I did. I did hear about that. Yeah, that was pretty crazy. Yeah, I mean, usually water is free, but like, there's definitely some places that like Hard will charge you for like a shit ton of water and just. I mean, it's just kind of crazy. So I mean, I've been going to festivals for like 2 years and, I fucking love it. Like I spend so much money like on live music because I thrive and live off of that shit. Like I love music so much. It's definitely like a huge passion of mine. And I really got into the festival scene and I started making like the whole reason I started making jewelry and some of the clothes I was making is because I was influenced by a lot of people that were doing it at festivals. There's people that literally show up with just jewelry and pay their whole way through the festival by selling their jewelry. And I've seen this happen like over and over again where like literally people just walk through campsites and just try to sell their shit. And a lot of times these people are really talented and they're really good at what they do and they make some pretty cool shit. So you're like, yeah, like why wouldn't I give you money? Like this is awesome. And so I kind of got wrapped up in that and I started making like festival type clothes and it's just a really cool scene. Like the people are really cool and this particular festival, I would say because you're locked on a ship with everybody, you get really close to people and you see them like over and over again. And it's some other festivals I've seen that happen, but this particular festival, it's almost like you get closer to the people than most other festivals I've been to. And it's really cool because I'm part of the Facebook group and the Facebook group is just an all year thing where it's like, oh my God, 255 days until Holy Ship, you know, like they're just counting down the days. I'm not even kidding. Like these people are obsessed. They're counting down the days until Holy Ship. Like it's crazy. I'm like, I'm not that obsessed, but like, I'm pretty excited. It's actually happening like right before AVN. So I'll be going on a big sea adventure right before that. But you know what? I'm really stoked. I'm super excited. I need a vacation. I haven't gone to a festival in a while. And I'm just excited to take like 8 days to just fucking not give a fuck. It's going to be so much fun.
There's nothing fucking wrong with that. For me, I enjoy festivals here and there. Mm-hmm. For live music, for me, I'd much rather be in like a place like the Whiskey.
Oh, for sure.
Like I like intimate clubs.
For sure.
I'm a huge Slayer fan, obviously. Mm-hmm. When they played the fucking Forum, I'm like, nah, I'm not going to see them in a fucking arena.
Yeah.
I've seen this band on tons of times. The idea of going to see them in an arena does not appeal to me.
Well, what's cool about this, like a festival like this in particular, most festivals I would say the crowd is a lot bigger. This is way smaller, and all of the little like stages are like little clubs. Like they have probably like 6 different stages. So they have like 2 big stages, and the rest of them are like bar sized. So like you're going into a bar and seeing this artist like in a bar setting, which is honestly really cool, because I was able to see Grizz multiple times and like walk all the way up to the front and actually watch him, which is really important for me, because I agree. I don't like seeing an artist in a stadium where I feel detached from the artist and there's just a bunch of fuckheads everywhere.
Like I have a better view watching it on the monitor than I do.
100%. It's just like, well, why did I even come here? Why did I pay for this? Like, I totally agree. I've been there. I've done that, and I feel the same way. I would rather see my favorite artist in a smaller venue with less people, intimate crowd. It's a different experience. You get to feel the artist on a more of a personal level, and like, I mean, yeah. So I totally understand.
Well, and I never thought of it like, the ship, like, because there's Ship Rock, which is like the rock and roll equivalent of Holy Ship.
Okay, yeah.
There's a bunch of like other. Motorhead used to do a cruise.
I remember. I've had a couple of friends tell me about a couple of different rock cruise ships.
And I never thought of it like that. I never thought of it like, oh, it's 6 different bars. I was just kind of like, cruise ship? No. Fucking giant venue on cruise ship? No. This is all a hard pass for me. But if you're telling me it's like, no. These bands are playing essentially bars on the cruise ship.
Yeah. For sure. And that
might be really kind of rad.
Is because it's not only that, but you're also able to see these people like, multiple times, which is really cool. And it's definitely intimate, and that's kind of what I really like about Holy Ship is like, not only is it intimate with the artist, but it's intimate with the other people. Like you really, like I said, like you see the same people over and over again. And one of the reasons I went last year is because I was like, okay, the thing is, you also party with all the artists. All the artists are on the ship. So, like, you're constantly running into other artists that you already watched, like, staying right next to you while you're watching someone else, which was super cool. And one of the reasons I went last year is because, I'm obsessed with Grizz, and I was like, I'm going to meet Grizz. I have to meet him. I didn't meet him, but...
So are you going to this year?
I'm not sure if he'll be there this year. That would be pretty dope, though, honestly. He's the kind of person who he just starts playing, like, because he plays the saxophone. He'll just start playing a saxophone, like, wherever he is. So, like, he'll just start doing, like, a little private show, like, in the fucking cafeteria or something. He'll just start playing
Careless Whisper somewhere?
Yeah, right? Oh, that guy's awesome. The fucking...
Sexy saxophone man?
Classic. Fucking classic. He's a classic, for sure.
Wow, you have done the impossible. You have almost convinced me to go on a cruise ship. Like,
I honestly didn't feel this way until I went last year. I didn't know what to expect, and I was like, I know a lot of people going. It's like I watched the advertisement. It seemed super dope. But then it wasn't until I was actually there that I was like, this is sick as fuck. Like, I need to make this an annual thing. Like, I'll probably go for the next 5 years and then probably maybe get tired of it, but we'll see.
Who knows if it'll still be a thing in 5 years?
That's true.
Things are fucking fickle.
Very true.
Now, the most important question, is alcohol all-inclusive?
No.
I'm out. I was almost sold. I'm out.
That's the only thing that's not, and they really make most of their money off the alcohol, which sucks. Because they make it really hard to bring drugs on there. It's like almost nearly impossible. Unless you're like putting that shit in your ass, it's like almost impossible to get on the ship with drugs.
How about alcohol? Bringing your own?
You can, but there's a quirk fee, which I don't think is much. So you can bring a lot of your own alcohol if you wanted to at a reasonable price, but like you're still gonna have to kind of pay for it.
I would have a second suitcase just full of booze. Right. I got 4 days on the boat.
Right?
This is my booze suitcase.
It's my booze case. The booze cruise.
Fuck, like doubling my price in my out. Do you know how much I drink? Jesus. Like, we're empty and I don't want...
Yeah, right. You're like, damn it.
Things are going so well, I don't want to pause it to refill. But the bottle on the table's fucking empty. It's fucking miserable. This is fucking horrible. No, that sounds really fucking rad.
I'm pretty stoked.
Believe me, no one's ever convinced me that a cruise might be fun. Because, have you ever watched Bill Burr's bit about cruises?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Where that's where you go to like take people and blow them up and shit. And yeah, no, that's a pretty good bit for sure.
I 100%.
Bill Burr is one of my favorite comedians.
100% agree with that bit.
It's hilarious. I was cracking up when I watched it.
But when he said that, I'm like,
why would you pay all this money to go out in the middle of nowhere and do everything you can do on land, but in the middle of the ocean?
Well, it's just
so dumb.
It's the whole mall on the sea thing. It's
it
like,
really is, and it's crazy how much they charge. Like at least for this, you're getting like a whole music festival. You know
I don't even care about the monetary part of it. Like, I go to travel generally with very little agenda, and I go to local spots. I try to avoid tourist spots.
Yeah.
Like in Amsterdam, we hung out a couple nights in like a divey metal bar called The Cave.
Nice.
In Finland, I went to a punk bar. Saw a comedy show there.
Nice.
Like they had an English comedy show one of the nights I was there. I'm like, me and one of the comedians actually ended up drinking until like last call at one of the other bars.
Nice. That's awesome.
Like he did some bit. I'm like, dude, you sound kind of American. He's like, I grew up in the States. I live here now. I'm like,
nice.
Oh, cool. Well, like, I'm in from the States. He's like, what are you doing here? I'm like, seeing the world, man.
Seeing the world, man.
So him and I went out drinking. We're friends on Facebook now.
That's awesome.
Shout out to Wally.
Fuck yeah. What's up, Wally?
Fucking, I'm all about like going and experiencing the culture. Like, I'm not about like going to, Times Square in New York or the Eiffel fucking Tower.
Probably the last place I would want to go if I went to New York. There's so many cool places to go to New York. Like it's like going to LA just to see Hollywood and Highland.
Right.
It's like, what? Like, right. No. There's so many cool areas to like visit. For sure.
But being on a cruise ship in my mind was like being on a Hollywood and Highland for 4 days.
For sure.
And paying thousands of dollars to do it.
Yeah, definitely.
Where I would rather be like, I can go to Thailand and just get balls deep in Bangkok and see what the fuck happens.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to do.
Like I still want to hit Thailand.
Yeah,
but Tokyo is still always calling me.
Oh, I bet. Yeah. How far away from Thailand or from Tokyo is Thailand?
It's a little bit of a hike.
Okay.
It's still very doable.
Like in my mind, trying to see it on the map, and it's not coming to me right now.
Well, about like here, like Thailand's here, Tokyo's here. Okay. For the audience at home, I'm making finger gestures.
It's like this makes sense,
right? I want to go back to Australia. Everyone I met in Sydney moved to Melbourne.
Okay.
So I want to go down to Melbourne and party with them.
Yeah, that's awesome.
My boy Nick, who I met in Sydney, just being a drunk shithead, came to the States a couple months ago. Actually, right before I left for Europe, he came to the States. Nice. So I showed him around LA. So I got to go to Melbourne and go party with him now.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yes. That's what's so cool about, like, I would say for me personally, like, going to music festivals all over the United States, I meet so many people, and I've stayed connected and stayed friends with people that live in different states. And I know that if I ever wanted to visit those states, I can immediately hit those people up and be like, yo, remember when we partied together at that festival? Like, what's up? Like, I'm coming through your fucking hood. Like, can I stay over and can you fucking show me a good time? And it would just be immediately like, yeah, of course. Like, duh.
That's fucking awesome.
So it's like, it's so awesome. Like, I have people all over the U.S. that I can hit up, and I love that shit. I love traveling and meeting new people and just like making the branches stronger to just travel even more, you know?
Just wait till you start making international friends.
I know. I'm excited. I want to go to fucking Thailand. I want to be there for like a month. I mean, that sounds long, but I'm like, I feel like to really like know a place, to go to a place and really be like, I went there and I really got to know that area. Like, you got to be there for at least a month. Like, there's so many things going on, and especially if you want to try to make any money, like, I just feel like a month is a good amount of time to go somewhere.
How are you going to deal with like no drugs in Thailand though?
Are there no drugs in Thailand?
Well, it's one of those things like, there's drugs there, but if you get fucking caught with them, you go to fucking jail, and you go to jail for life.
I don't know. That's a good question. The only drug I really do is like smoke weed.
That counts. That fucking counts.
Maybe I would take up a drinking habit.
There are stories of like American, like young American girls like that get suckered into muling drugs for dudes and shit like that.
Oh god, I would never mule drugs or something.
Yeah, but those girls are in like Thai prisons for life.
Wow.
Like Southeast Asia does not fuck around with drugs. Like There's a reason the Philippines are fucking executing drug dealers.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy and super hardcore.
Like when we were in Tokyo this last time, speaking of Asia, but not necessarily Southeast Asia, through friends of friends, he scored some weed. When they gave him the bag, like, this is like maybe an eighth. Maybe. They're like, don't take the subway back to your Airbnb. Take a cab. If you are caught with this, call this number, say nothing to the police. We may have gotten it through the Yakuza. But seriously.
For sure.
That's how serious, like,
that's crazy.
an eighth was. Wow. Maybe not even an eighth. I may be exaggerating. But seriously, that's how serious, like, that amount of weed was. Like, don't say anything to the police. Call this number. Say nothing.
Wow. It's got to be really difficult having a drug habit out there.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. And Japan's much more progressive than, like, Vietnam or, Thailand.
Yeah.
It's fucking nuts. I mean, thankfully, all I do is drink.
Yeah.
So it's like, alcohol's readily available.
Yeah, for sure.
But, I understand and respect other people have other indulgences. And
definitely.
If you're traveling abroad, it's like, ooh, how do you fuck with that?
Yeah. That's interesting. I guess I didn't really think about that. It's a good thing to ponder, for sure. Yeah.
And it's crazy, just, like, different attitude stories. Like, Amsterdam was cool. Weed was wildly readily available. Mushrooms were sold in stores.
That's rad.
Prostitution, like...
all out in the open.
Yeah, red light district, like, literally girls just sitting in windows waiting for you to be like, hi.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty crazy.
It's just like, wait a minute, that works. Why is that not working in the rest of the world? Why is this a crime everywhere else?
Yeah. It makes you question, like, why are things so different in different countries, especially when it comes to sex and drugs, are really the two things that we all handle very differently. And it's interesting, like, America's definitely progressive when it comes to sex. Not as progressive as I'd like it to be, but...
Oh, we're still very puritanical.
I mean, compared to how a lot of countries deal with things, like... we definitely, at least we have fucking rights, Like, I was...
Yeah, but if you show a nipple on fucking broadcast television, you're charged hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like fucking Janet Jackson at the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's a nipple. It's a goddamn nipple.
Yeah.
That is worth more money than you and I are going to make in a year in a fine.
Yeah.
Because her nipple got exposed to the fucking country.
That's, like...
We all have them.
So dumb.
We all have fucking nipples.
No, I know. It's crazy. I mean, you can't even show your nipples on Instagram. It's kind of stupid.
You can't even show your ass crack on Instagram.
Yeah. No, I know. Yeah, I don't know if you saw that picture I got taken down. I was, like, so frustrated about that. I was like, I really can't show my ass crack? Like, it's just so dumb. It's so dumb. Yeah. But, I mean, like, for instance, I think it's Saudi Arabia who just... Is it? I don't want to give the.
They just allowed women to drive.
That's the same country. Okay, so the guy who's pretty much in charge right now, he just had a bunch of his family members, because it's a royal family who runs the country instead of a fucking actual government. He just had a bunch of his family members sent to jail because for corruption. He's starting this whole anti-corruption movement, and he just decided to arrest, like, he straight up had like 100 people arrested under no reasonable charges. It was basically like, I don't care. I don't need a reason to fucking put you in jail. Like, I'm just going to put you in jail because I know you're guilty and I know you're corrupt. You know what I mean? And then he decided to make fucking driving for women illegal, and he started changing all this shit because he's like, now all these fucking assholes are out of the way. I thought that was so cool, but it really made me think, wow, women are just able to drive in this country? Like, that is some fucked up shit. Like, I am lucky as fuck to have what I have,
Well, and public displays of affection are also illegal.
Oh, whoa.
Like, Andy Cruz and her boyfriend had a layover in Abu Dhabi. Uh-huh. And I guess they, like, kissed in public, and the police came up to them and, like, you need to cut that shit out or we're taking you to jail.
That's so crazy.
There was a story a couple of years ago about a couple who the woman was pregnant and sought medical attention while she was in Saudi Arabia. And once they confirmed she was pregnant because she wasn't married to the dude, they arrested them both. Premarital sex.
Wow. That's so crazy.
So as fucked up as some things are in America, we have a lot of things really fucking good.
Oh, definitely.
Like,
Totally agree.
you're allowed to go outside with showing your face.
Yeah, that's heavy. It's heavy shit. I mean, really thinking like, the freedoms that we do have, it's crazy when you really compare your life to other people's,
Oh, there's a lot of fucked up shit in the world.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, parts of Africa are... We're getting way heavy. But parts of Africa are like, such levels of poverty is insane.
Yeah.
You will never comprehend the levels of poverty that are happening down there.
I know. It's so sad. It really is just... Like again, I said, just I try to remind myself on a regular basis, like how lucky I am, because it's so easy for me to get upset about things that in retrospect are really not that big of a deal. Like, oh, I got a couple grand stolen. I can make a couple grand in a week if I wanted to. If I put my mind to it and said, you know what, I'm going to make a couple grand this week, I can make a couple grand. Not a lot of people in America can do that.
No, not at all. Not at all.
So like for me to even complain is just like, it's just like, shut up. Like I it sucks, but it's still like I gotta put my shit, gotta fucking look at my shit realistically and am I really putting the right energy into being upset when I could just be like, putting that energy into making more money.
Right. And then seeing the world with that money.
Exactly.
No, you definitely could be.
That's the goal. So, it's a process, everything.
Well, 2018 conquered that shit. It's right around the corner.
This next year is definitely going to be my year of hustling my ass off. Like, I've definitely kind of taken advantage of the fact that I've been able to make so much money, and I haven't been the most responsible with my money. But now that I'm 25, I'm like, okay, I need to start growing the fuck up and saving some money and being responsible.
Fuck that. The way I look at it is it's money. You can always make more.
That's true. That is very true. I also like to look at it that way. That's why I spend so much money. But I also like,
You're not having kids.
Here's the thing. I'm not having kids. And
you don't have to save for Junior's college fund.
And that's the other thing is like, my family is kind of on my ass about like saving money. I'm like, honestly, the only reason I would be trying to like save a shit ton of money right now is if I was preparing for a child.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like if I'm not really going to do that, then like what do I need to save for? Other than myself, which is totally fine. Like, obviously, save for yourself, but like...
Well, I'm not saying have no savings. Make some investments.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially because,
don't hang on to the money. Because then the other thing I realized when I got robbed was, fuck, why didn't I spend all that money? I literally was mad at myself for not spending the money I was trying to save. And I'm like, well, damn, like, if I had spent that money, they wouldn't have taken it. But,
Under the mattress is not a great place to store it. Just FYI.
For sure. But
actually, Nikki, it is about that time. We're going to call last call.
All right.
Where can the audience find you on the social medias?
All of my social media is at my stage name, which is Nikki Knightly, which is spelled NIKKI KNIGHTLY, and that's my Instagram, my Snapchat, my Twitter, and my Tumblr, and my YouTube. It's all at Nikki Knightly.
You got any dates coming up?
I don't. Just be looking out for my new website and looking out for my new DVD that's going to be coming out, which I'm super excited about. I'm making that with Disciples of Desire, and yeah, that's pretty much all I got.
Awesome. Nikki, thank you for drinking with me tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Had a good time.
As always, guys, you can find me at Matt_Slayer on Twitter, Matt Slayer on Instagram, Matt F. Slayer on Facebook, Matt Slayer on Snapchat. You can find the podcast at And Now We Drink on Twitter, at And Now We Drink _ on Instagram, www.andnowwedrink.com. Till next time, drinking buddies, have a good night.
Yay.